Well, that's a screwed up situation. Um,
Yes, but the big werewolf Piotr yells at the four of you to just get through that door. We'll take care of this. Juliet gasps. Rose suddenly disappears. And when she suddenly disappears and Juliet starts looking all around frantically for her. And when she reappears, it's like she's flung to the ground at Juliet's feet, and she has a gash in her side, but she's not bleeding from it. So all you see is the shadow of a very tall man who stands in front of the door, and then from around him, from the other side of the door, come out four huge, they're dogs, but they look like wolves. While Nux is like punching him, he does slash at Nux's wrist, and it's pretty deep cut. Should he have been, if it didn't like absorb the damage,
would have taken the hand.
Right, it would have taken the hand, but it didn't take the hand, but it did slash some tendons. So like that's like his hand is kind of like unusable now.
Damn. So he's been.
So Nux goes to hit him again, but because he's used to being able to hit with both hands, he accidentally tries to use his severed tendon hand, and it just kind of goes. All right. At that moment, you see coming from the right side, another door slides open that wasn't really noticeable. And in steps, if you thought the guy with the hounds was tall, this guy is just massively huge. And at that moment, you hear gunfire coming from the catwalk. You see Juliet turn to the guy who's on the catwalk, and she just waves her hand, and he goes like flying up and then slams down on the ground. You see that the four dogs now turn after the hound guy. He's in front of you, like on the ground, but he shouts a command, and the four dogs go ahead and they do tackle Juliet.
I shout in German. My German isn't good enough to know this. I shout in German, "Call them off."
He responds back, "Never." So, dude that just got flung up in the air and thrown down onto the ground and from 10 feet. He stands. So the guy, he gets up. And he goes over to Rose, and he takes his gun that has like a bayonet at the end of it, and he goes and he stabs her. Right, like, because she never actually got up. And since she was like kind of on the ground, he goes ahead and he stabs her right in the back. See Juliet trying to like get out from under the dogs, but they have like and she's like trying to like kick them and swat them away. And you can see like she's flipped over to her stomach and she's trying to get out while like elbowing and kicking her legs back. But they've got a good strong grip on her. Like all four of them are pretty much like one of them's got her side, one of them's digging into a shoulder, the other's got her arm, and another's got a foot. Okay, yeah, you can test. So you want to know what they are?
Yeah.
And you're focusing on the guy who's Nux is fighting?
I'm gonna focus on the dude right in front of me.
Oh, okay. He's a ghoul.
Okay, I'm going to use that and assume that they are all ghouls. Okay. Big dude scares the crap out of me. So I am going to. Oh, here we go. I am going to quickly like drag my wrist across one of my teeth and spatter the blood on the ground. I'm gonna flick the blood onto the
Okay.
ground, like just a splash of it. I'll spend a whole point of vitae if you want me to.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna lash out with Predator's Aura.
Okay.
All right. So big guy, I am inflicting the seductive beast to create primal desire, the wanton condition. If they're ghouls, then I'm hoping this guy is just gonna drop what he's doing and try to lick that blood up. Like
Okay.
open vitae, it's like a dude who's like super duper hooked on some kind of drug, and I just spilled a whole case of it in front of him. I'm hoping he'll
Okay.
drop what he's doing and just bleh.
He drops his gun and starts licking up the blood on the ground.
Awesome.
Nux is stomping and he stumbled back, but he goes ahead and he just kicks the guy in the side again, where there is some bullet damage, and the guy goes unconscious.
I'm going to celerity over to the I'm gonna celerity over to that heavy machine gun. I'm gonna pick up this big ass machine gun and just long.
Rose looks at the guy with the bayonet and she looks into his eyes, and you can see all of a sudden he just stops what he's doing and stands there, and she says, "You're going to turn around and leave." And he
And
does turn around and leave.
holy scheisse. Okay.
The big guy who was licking up blood is now pissed that you shot him. He stood up, went to you, and just went on the sides of your.
Jeez. Awesome. Okay.
All right.
Like sheer
So
velocity.
as Nux is like like slow motion on top of him, you celerity and smack into him, and Nux is able to grab on to him, and the three of you go flying, and you and you crash into like that computer equipment, and Juliet is just like, what the hell?
Oh.
Oh, for me.
I'm just gonna pull out a pistol and just jam it into this guy and just bam, 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 just squeeze the trigger as much as I can into this.
So this time, dude is actually taking some damage. And he's starting to bleed out.
I'm gonna stand up and like my eyes are glowing, my teeth are out, and I'm just gonna lisp at them. Where there's ghouls, there's a master. Where there's a master, there's something to feed on. I'm gonna go looking for the one that got away.
So he ran back towards the revenants. So after you run down that long tunnel all the way back to where the revenants came out, or the feral creatures came out, you see the door is open and the guy who ran away is standing there looking at all of them, and he's like, because it's just a mess of really dead revenants, like 50 of them.
I'm going to quietly have my guns on him. And in German, let me pop out my handy dandy say, "Du bist der Letzte," which is "You're the last one."
He turns to you and says in German, "Then we have failed."
Failed at what?
Keeping it safe.
What is it?
You see him reach into his pocket, and he starts pulling out a little capsule.
Don't make me shoot you.
Eyes away. It is the end.
Bang!
He falls down to the floor.
Tackle him, pin his arms with my knees. Look, you want to die, that's your call. But you're going to answer some questions. I'm like just going to start like focusing my eyes on his and just continuous hypnotoad.
Okay, you got him.
Now, what is it you're trying to protect?
So you can see he's trying to talk, but it seems like he can't get the words out.
What is it?
He's like, it's like he's almost like choking on words.
Someone's put something in your head. I can relate to that. All right, I am going to use the lion mind.
He starts to seize, and then you see him bite down really hard on his tongue, and then he starts to choke it.
Oh, jeez. Okay. That's a whole lot of blood. Right. So I can't fix this. So is he dead?
He's dead. In that time it took for you to calm yourself down so you didn't just fucking kill this guy drinking his blood, he died.
Put my pistols away. Grab him by the leg and drag him back to the group. Okay, I drag him back to the group. He bit off his own tongue instead of talking. And as fucked up as that is, waste not, want not, and he is a fucking Nazi.
After you.
Ladies first.
Rose is kind of just like ished out by this whole thing.
Yeah, believe me, I don't like you.
But Juliet doesn't seem to have a problem with it.
Nazis.
Which makes you get a little like twinge.
What kind of twinge?
Like it's tugging at a memory, but you can't quite seem to grasp the memory. You sort of are remembering, and it's like kind of like the static of a TV, you know, like when you used to have the bunny ears and the TV would go in and out.
Yeah.
And it's like it's an argument that you had with Juliet, and you say you're no different than her, and you hear Juliet go in and out like you don't understand. So you go down the door where the guy with the hounds came through, and the walls in here are steel. The walls in here are steel, and there's like bright fluorescent lights that kind of turn on as you walk down. And at the end of the hall, when you go through the door, you are standing on a platform that has stairs that go down on either side. And you are looking over what looks like a lab. And a bunch of file cabinets have been ripped open, and there are papers flung everywhere. You see in the middle of the room, there is a table. On it is someone who is strapped down and their chest has been cut open. There is, on one side, there's like these tubes with some chemicals in it and people attached to tubes floating in it. On the other side, You see rooms with like they're cages, but it's not like bar cages. It's like walls, like glass walls or like unbreakable glass walls. And they were human, but they're all mutated. Some of them have like bulbous
Growths, tumors.
growths, tumors all over them. Some of them are just like permanently kind of hunched in a weird position. Some of them have hair all over them.